it makes me...
Jamie McMurray, winner of the Brickyard 400, getting into the Corvette for the parade around this racetrack for the fans to see. One of the traditions post-race here at Indy. Won't be too long before he'll be out by that yard of bricks to pucker up, put that big old smooch on the yard that he'll so enjoy. Chip Ganassi, co-owner Felix Abada is all piled in there. Now joining us in our ESPN pit studio, as he's agreed to do for all of our ESPN race telecasts this year and our extensive post-race coverage, Carl Edwards, today driver of the Aflac Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. First of all, you were remarking before we start to talk about your race about your fellow, what is it, Missourian? Missouriite?
No, he's a Missourian. And yeah, it's a proud day to be from Missouri. It's so cool for Jamie to win this race, to see what he's been through. The first time I met him, he was at Mike Mittler's shop. He came and answered the door, and he's all greasy. He used to have long hair, and he's working on something under the truck. And he's always been a polite guy and a guy that could do anything on the race car. And to see the struggles that he's gone through, and I mean, just look at that smile. That's yeah. Unbelievable. So cool to see him out there.
Priceless. Now let me take you through a little bit of your race. You wound up finishing 7th. It wasn't that easy. You started 19th. There was a big wreck, turn 2, lap 1. You missed that somehow, but then you wound up on pit road at lap 10 with an overheating car.
Right, and I don't know what it looked like to you guys or to the fans, but the air was the biggest thing we were racing out there today. And, there was one time when somebody got the splitter down there in the grass, and it looked like a snowplow, and it threw all this grass up. And I'm glad I looked at my water gauge, because it was, it just headed up, got to 300 degrees, and a lot of guys had that trouble. But then as the race went on, we took 4 tires at the end because we thought that tires would be the thing, and that it's so strange. You're not really racing the tires, you're racing that air. And the guys with 2 tires, they're the ones that made out today.
We sit right here in the pit studio, myself and Ray, Andy, Peter, the booth, and said, hey, 4 tires, that is it. But the clean air, I mean, getting that car out front just had to be everything. Did it feel that way? I mean, it looks like the cars were all over when they got behind cars.
Right, you could run very hard, on the short run and kind of ratchet some positions up. But, as opposed to last night at a small track like ORP where aero's not such a big thing, 4 tires that was the deal there. I don't, no tires or 2 tires was the deal here. And Jamie and those guys played it right, and then they stayed out front. We just, we never had a chance to get up there. But the cool thing for us is that I think Greg Biffle had a chance to win this race. I felt like he had a car that could do it. That's great for Ford, for 3M, for Aflac, for all of us at Roush Fenway. We obviously lost a great driver in Jamie, but it's nice to be able to keep up with them a little bit here at this race.
Yeah, that was going to be my comment. I mean, you guys feel like you've kind of turned the corner a little bit today. I mean, you had Matt Kenseth, yourself, Greg Biffle, all within the top 12. Yeah. Looked like you all ran pretty well. Is this a turning point for you guys?
Yeah, it is, and it's inspiring to look at what Jamie did and those guys today. See him going around that racetrack smiling and waving with the checker flag, and to know that, his 2009 was not what he wanted it, and here he comes to 2010, and he's won, the 2 biggest races of the season. And that gives us hope, and I'm proud of my guys back at the shop, just as those guys should be proud of theirs.
Well, I was going to kid you and tell everybody you knocked me out of my chair when I get there, but I figured you had a long enough week with that. But,
I was hoping we could make it through this without bringing that up.
I said he's in great shape. He's not even sweating, but, it seems like in the last 3 or 4 weeks at Roush, you guys have really turned the corner. Is that the new engine? Is it suspension? It just seems like right now you're a threat to win races again.
Right, it's everything, and you guys know how that is. You have to have every part of the package, and the perfect example is I keep talking about Jamie, but it's his day today, and you look at Jamie and how he ran over with us, and then he came over to this other team, and he's running so well. And it's really inspiring to all of us. We sit there in those meetings and we go, look, we can do this too. We can go out here and perform well. In the last few weeks, it's been that FR9. It's been the guys in the shop paying attention to the details. This new car I drove today is the nicest car we've had come out of the shop. And it's everybody sticking together as a team. That's what makes things work.
So to put a button on your day, you wound up 7th after being 33rd 10 laps into the race. You were there by Montoya when he had his troubles late in the day. Just kind of put a button on your whole day for us.
Our day was great. We had one of our Aflac Crew of Courage members, a man, Jerry, that had beaten cancer 3 times. Wow. And it kind of put things into perspective for me starting the day. And we never got down. We kept digging, and we needed it to be the Brickyard 600 or 700 to make a couple more positions. But a great day for us and for Ford.
Carl, thanks for your analysis on the race and some of the things you saw. We look forward to talking to you after next Sunday's race in Pocono.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Carl Edwards joining us on our ESPN post-race coverage after finishing in the top 10 in the Brickyard 400.
And as you look down on this beautiful 2.5-mile layout, another race in the record books. And let's check in with a guy who had a long day. Four-time champion, Jimmy Johnson. Jamie Little's with him.
Well, for Jimmy Johnson, an eventful day today, Jimmy, from start to finish. The pit road issues. What happened earlier?
Well, we were just trying to make the car better on the pit stops and took some time early in the race to adjust the car to correct the tight end. My car was just so tight in. I had guys out braking me at a track where you really don't charge the corner. So we're really confused as to why. Maybe something went on with the shock or something in the front, although we changed both front shocks thinking that might be it, and it didn't really correct the problem. So we, from Chicago, we had this as well, where at a certain point in the race we just got real tight, and then today it happened probably about, after that first caution that we had at 15 laps or something. After that, it just got real tight in and I couldn't go anywhere.
3 finishes in a row now, 22nd or worse. That's not like Jimmy Johnson, the 48 team. How are you guys looking ahead now to Pocono?
And you just never know. Each week, it doesn't matter if the 11 cars have been on a roll at times. We've been on a roll at times. 29, whoever it is, no one seems to be able to sustain for a long period of time. So the only saving grace I see right now is that no one has been able to link together a long stretch outside of the 29. I mean, he's been awfully tough, but a good thing this race isn't in the chase. That's another good thing I can look at. I'm trying to find some positives here, but we'll move on and we'll be stronger. There's no doubt about it.
Jimmy Johnson staying optimistic.
All right, Jamie, as you finish, the Corvette pace car has made it back around. Believe it or not, there were 7 people in that Corvette, including Chip Ganassi and Felix Sabates and our race winner, Jamie McMurray. Chevrolet didn't know they made a...
I've been 7.5.
They didn't know they made an SUV that size or that powerful, did they? They got a lot of people in there, but here it is, the moment that was begun by our colleague right up here in the booth, along with your crew chief, Todd Parrott, came up with the idea of kissing the bricks. And the traditions here at Indianapolis, of course, the milk back in 1936 with Louis Meyer. He actually drank buttermilk that day, believe it or not.
I think Jamie's going to pour some Coca-Cola on the bricks before he gets done.
Well, that would make it taste a little better, wouldn't it? What is it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's no doubt. A good Coca-Cola. I'm sure he's ready for a good cold Coke right now.
Can you imagine Chip Ganassi's feeling right now as well? Thinking about this moment along with the rest of those crew members, and here they are after winning the 17th running of the Brickyard 400.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2.
I can assure you, in respect to all the drivers' wives that had the opportunity to do that, that is a wonderful kiss right there. That is the culmination of a lot of hard work and effort on all of those guys' part. And that's what's so great, is all the people that help make it possible. Not all of them, because there's still some that obviously with the guys we talked about at the shop, but these people all had a huge hand in making it happen, and they can help celebrate right here.
Chip just got pumped off.
I can't imagine how Chip feels right now. This is such an accomplishment for him.
While they continue to take the photographs, changing all the hats that the process goes through, let's take a look at the updated chase for the 12 spots for the chase after 20 races. And look at Greg Biffle right now in that 11th spot. Is boy, he has made himself a player again in the top 12. Let's talk to him, Doc.
Well, Greg Biffle logs a career-best third-place finish at the Brickyard. And, Greg, when the day began, did you have any idea that your car would be this competitive and run this well?
Well, we're certainly hoping it would. Last year we finished 4th here with a similar setup, a little bit different this time. But, you know, pretty happy we could run with a 42. I was excited about that. 3M piston earplug Ford Fusion, really good. Engines just ran great. Just wanted to get 4 to win. You know, I mean, we're going to have to take some chances, and I guess 2 tires is what we're going to have to do one of these days.
The final call there, you took 4 tires, others took 2. Who made the call? And now when you look back on it, obviously, if you'd have taken 2, would it have made a big difference?
Yeah, I think we would have probably, you know, anybody could say we could have won, but, you know, I think 2 would have been the right call. We could have raced with the 1. We were about as good as the 1, maybe a little better than the 1, but about the same as the 42. So 2 tires probably would have put us up front, and we could have duked it out for the win. But, you know, great run, good top 3 finish for us. Didn't gain a lot in the points. A lot of guys finished right around us. We're racing for the chase, but still a good day.
Hey, congratulations on another great day, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Doc, thanks. So Greg Biffle's comments there on finishing third. And as we watch the celebration continue out by the yard of bricks, in the pit studio with Rusty, Brad, and Ray to kind of put a button on some of the stories we talked about before the race started on NASCAR Countdown. Rusty, the Penske effort today.
Yeah, absolutely. Roger didn't get a win again here at the Brickyard 400. They tried really hard. They had a great-looking car, just couldn't quite get the handle on it. Yeah. You got to feel for him. You know, we talked about him on our Countdown show. They gave it another run at it, but hey, got to try it again next year.
Yeah, that's right.
And Brad, we talked about Jeff Gordon.
Yeah,
we talked about Jimmy Johnson. We talked about Denny Hamlin.
Wow, I'm going to tell you what, for Jeff Gordon, the day really never got started very well. But for Jimmy Johnson, the day just unraveled. He was extremely quick early on. We thought he was going to be a threat to Montoya, and he just ended up going backwards all day long. Same for Denny Hamlin. Got a lap down, fought his way back, just couldn't quite get in the mix. Tough day for those three gentlemen.
And Ray, the Ganassi story. He wound up getting the trifecta, but it wasn't with the driver most of us thought, but it was with the guy you thought.
Well, the Ganassi organization has got depth, and Chip runs so good here, and it's really neat. Congratulations, Chip. It's great to see be part of history, but all along, you know, knew that 42 was fast. But as I said, that one car, Jamie McMurray and the group had portrayed confidence all week long, worked on their car. Jamie just had some bounce in his step, and I knew that if that 42 were to falter, that the one could be there to pick it up. That's a sign of a great race team.
Going to have to start calling him Majors McMurray
yeah,
at
right.
The minute. So Jamie McMurray celebrating the win here at the Brickyard 400. And as we continue our extensive post-race coverage here on ESPN after today's race, we talked about Jeff Gordon just a second ago. Let's get his post-race thoughts with Jamie Little.
And Jeff Gordon brings it home 23rd today. Jeff, kind of a wild and crazy day. We saw you lose a tire at one time. What happened out there today?
I saw the 9, the 29 kind of come together a little bit, racing hard. And we got a good run on them and made up a couple positions. We really struggled today with the DuPont Chevrolet. I mean, track position is so important here. We see that all the time. You know, we had a good car at times, but just not a good enough one to drive up through there. And so we were just kind of, you know, doing our best and, you know, took advantage of that situation. Then all of a sudden I felt a big vibration. I thought I had a loose wheel, but then they said the splitter was vibrating. And then, I don't know, must have broke off and cut the right side tires, and I just went along for a ride. I got pretty lucky, actually, with it. We didn't tear the car up down there in turn 1, and we fixed the best we could and just brought it home.
New right side tire, of course, a lot of talk, first time running a spoiler here. Did you notice any difference?
Well, you know, I mean, there's a huge difference from what we used to have. I mean, this tire lasts no problem. I mean, the tire issue we had was purely because we ran over something. So, you know, I give Goodyear a lot of credit from that sense, but, you know, we're really struggling trying to pass out there. And, I mean, my car didn't feel any better on lap 1 than it did on lap 15. So, you know, I think there's some things they can do to improve it if they can keep the wear good. But, you know, right now I think with this surface here at Indy and our cars, and as much as we, you know, eat up right side tires, I think this is probably the best of both worlds.
So good news coming from Jeff Gordon. Long, hard-fought day. He brings it home 23rd.
Well, and I guess it depends on what kind of car you have, because remember Joey Logano, he could pass. He started dead last in this field, picked up 33 total spots, ended up finishing in 9th. So there was some passing going on out there, quite a bit of passing, in fact, today. But if your car didn't handle, you weren't going anywhere. Let's check in now with a guy who really surprised everybody coming home in 5th, Tony Stewart. He's with Vince.